Hello everyone, and welcome to another Zelda Breath of the Wild 2 theory. This one, I promise you, is insane. Is it so crazy it's good, or just crazy? That's up to you, but it does have slight credibility based on in-game details. In the end, I thought it was too bizarre and interesting that I just had to share it with all of you. I seen this a few weeks ago on a forum after a friend on our Discord sent it to me. I hope you're sitting down, because we're about to begin. Hyrule Castle is a giant divine beast. Sounds crazy, right? Well, the original poster and others in the comments claimed when Hyrule Castle is rising up, they can see outlines of legs in the dust cloud, and the cutscene specifically stops before the dust clears out so that it doesn't reveal the legs. Basically, the castle isn't floating in the sky, but standing up, or at the very least, part of the castle was built on top of a divine beast. While we have no idea if a divine beast was buried beneath Hyrule Castle, or if part of the castle is meant to be its own divine beast, we do know ancient 𝐓𝐻𝐾 was buried beneath the castle, and the giant pillars surrounding the castle were actually created to hold or store all of the guardians. If all of the guardians were stored in these structures circling the castle in order to already be in the best possible position to protect the castle, and the Shrine of Resurrection has a divine beast, or divine beast-like trial beneath it, the only reason I can think of as to why the castle would also have one would be a last effort of defense. If the divine beasts and guardians fell, it could rise up high enough that most people wouldn't be able to reach it, protecting the people inside. Similar to how Hylia raised Skyloft to protect against demise, or the Shrine of Resurrection and the Temple of Time were raised above the rest of Hyrule to become the Great Plateau. We've seen a few similar theories based on the first Breath of the Wild trailers, with everyone theorizing Vah Meadow was anything from Skyloft to the City in the Sky, or some sort of new floating island. People thought Vah Rudania was a giant monster or boss for Death Mountain's dungeon. They ended up being sort of right, but no one thought it was a giant mechanical beast that you would actually be able to pilot in order to destroy Ganon and his minions. So what evidence does this have to support it? Well, aside from people claiming to see outlines in the dust cloud, only divine beasts have 3D hologram-like maps. Yet Hyrule Castle has one. No one ever suspected the Shrine of Resurrection to end up being one of the most creative divine beasts or dungeons, though Nintendo claims the Master Cycle is Link's divine beast, and not the actual dungeon, making it different than the other 4 divine beasts. Though some think, just as Link is the champion that pilots the Master Cycle, the Shrine of Resurrection's divine beast is piloted by a sort of Sheikah champion, which is why this Sheikah monk is so different than the rest. And it was used more for defense, or in this case, healing Link or other people mortally wounded, as opposed to simply being used for offense or to attack Calamity Ganon. We also have concept art showing Ganondorf on top of a giant island floating in the sky, as well as other areas originally meant to also be floating in the air. So I don't really see a reason Hyrule Castle and the area surrounding it would require legs to rise up. So could Hyrule Castle end up being a giant divine beast, or built on top of one? I don't really think so, but again, this theory was so crazy, I couldn't not share it with all of you. I did share this with some friends when it was first sent to me, a few being other Zelda Theory channels that you likely watch, and I received mixed feedback, with some thinking it is possible, and others not being able to see anything at all in the dust cloud, even with the original outlines from the creator of the original theory, as well as my attempts in Photoshop to get the best possible quality image that I could. And even 𝐼𝐧𝐬 and some of the others that I showed really wanted to dig in and see if they could reveal anything with their skills on Photoshop. This is something that I really want to know from all of you. We know Nintendo had concepts for a dozen or more divine beasts, some so large they had giant cities on their back. Sounds familiar, right? And others being living monsters, not mechanical vehicles. One concept thought to be a scrapped divine beast, does actually appear in the game hanging from the tech lab, which we covered in past videos. But since underwater exploration isn't part of the game, thanks to Nintendo removing the claw shot or hook shot, despite it already working perfectly in the game, and actually being the original weapon for the Gerudo champion. And even the scrapped Kokiri champion had a whip. That item was scrapped, the iron boots didn't make it to the game, and the Zora armor that traditionally lets you breathe underwater only lets you swim faster, so I can easily see why we did not get an underwater divine beast. Though similar to the shrines rising up out of the water, I would love to see this Jabu-Jabu-like divine beast rise up from the water as well. Would you be interested in us covering other insane, nonsensical Zelda theories on this channel? Do you have your own that you would like featured? Comment below and let us know, and be sure to give us your thoughts on this crazy Breath of the Wild 2 theory. What is the craziest Zelda theory or Breath of the Wild 2 theory that you've heard or came up with? I know personally I've came up with a lot of dumb ones that don't make it into videos, and if you want us to discuss yours on our Zelda podcast, the 𝐓𝐼𝐧𝐬𝐭𝐭𝐞𝐫, just let us know. It doesn't even have to be a bad or crazy theory, as long as it's interesting. Comment it below or join our Discord and tag us if you want it to be its own featured video, or if you would rather it be the topic of a more casual conversation and discussion as a topic on the 𝐓𝐼𝐧𝐬𝐭𝐭𝐞𝐫. Thank all of the amazing Patreon supporters whose names are on screen right now, and for everyone worried, Daniel is treating me fine. Although he did tell me he would make me eat another shoe unless I tried staying quiet while recording this. Anyways, have a wonderful day or night, and seriously just thank you for watching. That's it for now, but a lot of rumors, news, and details are slowly leaking out. So please, stay subscribed and notified, and join our Discord to make sure you stay up to date on all Zelda Breath of the Wild 2 news. And you can find our Zelda podcast, the 𝐓𝐼𝐧𝐬𝐭𝐭𝐞𝐫, here on YouTube and on iTunes, where we have had many guests who have worked on the Zelda series, and have shared a lot of amazing stories about voice acting, such as Patricia Somerset voice acting as Zelda, Mike Drucker on Zelda's writing or translation team, coming up with the jokes in the game, stories behind the names of characters that he created. Please subscribe and let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you. If you are a fan of our Zelda videos like this, Zelda Theories, our Zelda podcast, the 𝐓𝐼𝐧𝐬𝐭𝐭𝐞𝐫 on iTunes, we would all really appreciate your support at patreon.com/GameOverJesse. That and buying our t-shirts will get you and your YouTube or Twitch a shout out every week on our 𝐓𝐼𝐧𝐬𝐭𝐭𝐞𝐫. And if you send in a photo of yourself in our Game Over Jesse or 𝐓𝐼𝐧𝐬𝐭𝐭𝐞𝐫 t-shirt, we can use it for promotion at the end of some of our videos.